Hello and welcome to another episode of the SHU Doing podcast. I am Aaron Burrell, alongside my co-host Paul Guarino.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are joined by a special guest, A+E Network's own Meredith Pinto. Meredith, how you doing?
Hi, great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for joining. So we always like to start with kind of people's Sacred Heart origin story. When did you first learn about Sacred Heart, and why was Sacred Heart the school for you?
Yeah, so kind of have to rewind to my junior year of undergrad at UConn. Comms major, had no idea what I wanted to do post-graduation, kind of feeling like I want to do something in media, would love to do something in sports, but just didn't want to work a job that I hated. And I remember taking a PR course, and we were looking at organizations and companies that had like PR blunders, mishaps, one of those being the NFL and how they handled or mishandled Ray Rice and his domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
And I was excited because I was like, the articles that I was reading on ESPN and the tweets that I was reading from Adam Schefter, I would be able to reference in class for credit for,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how can I do this as a career? How can I try to learn more, to do more? And do I change my majors? Do I go to grad school? And I found Sacred Heart had just started this sports communication and media program. And I didn't want to do anything that was specifically sports broadcasting or sports journalism. I didn't want to be in front of a camera, behind a camera, keep me far away from a camera.
Me either.
So something more behind the scenes. And they had this athletic communications and promotion track. So I was like, sign me up. Who do I send the check to? Saw the facilities. I was
check.
As a junior trying to figure out what I was trying to do with the rest of my life. I'm like, okay, I found something I can roll with. So that was that.
Nice.
All right. And what, like, overall, like, just coming from like UConn to Sacred Heart, like what was that like?
I mean, UConn was massive, huge, and like Sacred Heart. Looking back, it almost makes me wish that I went to a smaller school, almost, just because like when I first started the program, I could tell what a tight community it was, and I was like, ooh, you kind of don't always get that at such a big school. But this program specifically, like everybody was so tight knit and close, and would like hang out with each other after class. So I was like, oh, like I'm really gonna like it here. This is gonna be a cool place.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting because obviously you didn't go here for undergrad because it was even smaller when we went here. That's why it's like that's why I was curious to know.
Yeah, and so obviously you start here in the athletic communications program. What are your thoughts? You kind of want to go in that athletic communications PR route. How did that go?
It was less like I just knew that I wanted to be around sports and media in some capacity, and far away from a camera. So if that was, being in a communications department, like that was one of the cool things about this program was having to get an internship in some type of sports related field. And I had an internship with, at the time they were the New Britain Bees, independent minor league baseball team, and I worked in their communications department, and I loved it. Like I was going to class, I was working 30 hours a week in retail and doing this internship. I don't think I slept more than 4 hours every night, but I loved it. Like I was never tired because I was just doing something that I was excited about.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny. I like think back now. For those who don't know, Meredith, you and I were both in the same grad class that year, and I feel like, did you ever anchor Sports Buzz? Did we get you to anchor Sports
There's
Buzz?
one. I don't know where that file is. Hopefully deleted somewhere, but like I did it. It's somewhere.
How did it feel stepping in front of the camera? You knew obviously going in, but one of the nice things about the program is that you do get to still try it, even though you're like, okay, maybe let me just see. What was that experience like?
It was cool because I always felt like the cool thing about SHU is that you have so many of these resources available to you, and you'd be crazy not to like take them up on using it. Like, when am I ever going to have a chance to like shoot my own B-roll and like use some of this editing software and host and anchor Sports Buzz? And I'm like, I'd kick myself if I left this program and didn't do it. So nerve-wracking, just a mess the entire time, but I did it. We wrapped, we shot it. So
yeah, I was reading the prompter.
Oh my God,
I couldn't do it.
Really?
Nah, couldn't read the prompter.
No, and like
I went Anchorman on them. Like I was like,
just broke.
Yeah.
It's because you didn't have the glasses.
Yeah.
Just going off vibes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's crazy because like when you're preparing for it, you know the packages. Like you're studying it before, and then still when the cameras are rolling, it's just you go blank. I'm like,
yes.
I can't do it.
The first time I feel like the lights just feel so bright.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, all right.
And I have like a oily, shiny skin. And I can remember they have the like orange powder underneath the desk. I was like, I'm not touching that. Like, who knows how many people have used that powder. It's just, and all the people in there, I'm like, I don't want to mess up. And I know it's for fun. And I know these people are, you know, supportive and encouraging me, but never again. Props to anybody who did it and like the people who do it well, but
not an easy thing.
No.
So obviously you are interning with the New Britain Breeze. You're working here. After you graduate, where does your career take you next?
So after I graduated, I thought I'm gonna work for the NFL. I'm gonna just like, you know, apply for all of these jobs that I clearly think I'm qualified for. I just got a degree from Sacred Heart University. Did not happen. Did not happen. So I spent a few more years in retail, just kind of being like, okay, I can keep applying for jobs that I'm not gonna get, or I could try to like pivot, and maybe the sports thing won't happen right now, but maybe I can transition into something with media. And I found this opportunity with my current job, A+E Television Networks, and I had no idea what the job was, but I knew that it was in New York City, which I wanted to live in New York. It was in media, and it sounded fun, so I thought, why not? And they hired me, and I've been with them for 6 years. So
it
turned out well.
Where does all this like passion come from and like your drive?
Ooh, I don't know. I think I just always like kind of wanted to do a good job. Like I never wanted people to think that I was not giving something my best effort, because I felt it was just like a poor reflection of myself. And I just didn't want to waste anybody's time.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
It's nice. You should learn.
It was just,
No, okay, I'm messing around, honestly. But okay, so what was the first day like? Because obviously, stepping into a place like A+E Networks, like it's a massive,
Big
massive company. What was that first day like for you?
I truly had no idea what to expect. I remember one of our like support staff people who was kind of giving me the lay of the land. She was talking about a potential account executive that I'd be working with, and I thought this person's name was a media agency. So it never occurred to me that like the name that she was referencing wasn't some like potential client, but it was actually a person that I'd be reporting to. And I'm like, oh, you're saying Bob Smith, like it's an agency. She's like, no, Bob Smith, his office is right there. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm making great first impressions right off the bat. I think like 3 or 4 months into the job, I'm like, I've made a terrible mistake. I'm going to screw up so many things, because you don't realize how much money you are actually able to touch. Like the advertising world, the budgets that they have, it's like money, there's no limit. Right. And the fact that I am responsible for like millions of dollars that I could just, I had the power to delete like hundreds of thousands of dollars if I wanted to.
Crazy.
I would no longer have a job, but I had that power.
Yeah. What was that like when you really like sitting there and realizing that?
I was like, I can't be here. Like imposter syndrome kind of sits in, because you're like, am I really like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like this is wrong. Like I need to be having my hand held and like somebody like watching over my shoulder the entire time so I don't mess up.
Yeah. Well, how do you overcome that imposter syndrome?
Oh God. I mean, I think you just got to keep like pushing through and just tell yourself like you're doing your best. Like you are trying. You are trying to get better, to learn more. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. Like I had a great boss who always said like, you're going to make a mistake. It's like, don't have so much pressure on yourself that you will freak out if you make a mistake. It's going to happen. But do you learn from the mistake? Do you repeat the mistake? That's the big thing. So I was always kind of giving myself a little bit of grace with that. And that helps.
We've talked about this on this podcast, but everyone remembers their first like big mistake where it's like you learn that the stove is as hot as it looks. Do you remember yours? I learned to like never assume something about a client. Like I was like, I know what's best. Like or something like they won't notice if I do something. They will notice and they will call you out on it. And if you don't have a way to correct it, it's just, I think it was probably like 4 months into my job. And I think maybe I moved a commercial that was supposed to air in like April. And for whatever reason, I moved it back to June. And the client was like, so the commercial that was supposed to air in April is supposed to air last night. It didn't. What happened? And I'm like, oh, I moved it. Well, why didn't you tell us? Why? What was the reason? And I could not tell them. And I'm like, they're going to fire me. They're going to fire me. They're going to kill me. And they're like, okay, well, as long as it airs, it's fine. So it's like, it worked out. Yeah. But like, you just never assume. The initial panic of it all.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I thought I was going to die.
No, assuming, I learned that too. Just like, because you think you're doing what's best, but you never know what other people are thinking.
Yeah, there's reasons for things. It's
Yeah.
just like there's protocol, there's proper procedure to follow. So just when in doubt, ask questions. That's kind of what I've learned. Yeah,
Nice.
For
And
sure.
Also, obviously we can't only talk about the moments that are not as fun. What about some of the better days? Like, do you have a best day at work?
Ooh. I kind of feel like any day that's not like, oh my God, I messed up or something. Like any day that's not that is a good day. I think being recognized by like my managers or peers for just like being helpful, like just feels good. Cause I'm like, yeah, like I helped you, which makes me feel good. And now whatever problem you're having, you don't have it anymore. So that's great. If a client is like, hey, we need something ASAP and you can do it for them, that feels great too. And you just sort of build a rapport with them. And I mean, those are the good days when you're like, yeah, I don't suck at my job.
Yes, 100%.
A win.
How have you seen the ad industry change over the course of your career so far?
I feel like even in just the last like 5 years, it's shifted so much from being so linear to more digital, to more streaming. And it's like, I mean, how many people still have like true cable television packages, like you cord cutters and all that. So, but now people want to come back to linear television. So I'm like, come back, keep me employed. But I think there's such a shift between wanting to have eyeballs everywhere, but then also wanting to have targeted ads to find a certain audience. Like there's so much data in it now. Like, I mean, I love a targeted ad. If I can find an ad that like tells me about the latest thing I can buy for my dog, that like, a new outfit or toy or something, like I want to see that. But it's creepy how they find you that way. Like the amount of like first party or third party.
So do you know
data.
the secrets?
Listen, I can't share them. I can't share them.
So what is like a day in life like at your job look like?
It can vary, which is kind of nice. Like it's not the same repetitive stuff every day. It could be a movie studio has an upcoming film that they want to promote, and we have a show that like aligns perfectly with them. So we're just trying to like build out a plan so that they can air in all of these premieres, and then maybe we pair that with like a digital plan, and maybe we promote it on our social media platforms as well, like trying to do that. Other times it's boring, and I'm making Excel charts for like billing purposes or invoicing purposes. So it's kind of nice that way, that every day's a little different. But for the most part, it's just like client servicing and making sure that I don't delete millions of dollars.
For sure. What about, I know you wanted to get into sports. Like, is that still a goal of yours?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I
What's your favorite sport?
Football. Football has been the NFL, the dream. It's still a dream. Won't stop being a dream. But I think all of the numerous rejection emails or ghosted emails that I've gotten it's just sort of reminded me like, just because you get rejected for something doesn't mean stop. It just means like, okay, figure out what went wrong and what can you improve on? Like, can I build a new skill? Can I learn something new? What do they say? Rejection is redirection or something like that.
Yeah, it's great advice.
For sure.
That is. How does data help play into your current role?
Like analyzing data or just like
analyzing data and then targeted as you mentioned before.
Yeah, so the targeted ads are really cool because it's growing so much. Like advertisers want to be much more specific with how they are spending their money. Like you might have a McDonald's who they don't care that they're spending $5 million. Like everybody likes fast food, and most people like fast food regardless of their demographics. But you might have a pharmaceutical company that they are trying to target people ages 18 to 44, and they like to go out on the weekends, but they also have a dog and they have an income of this and that. So, trying to find the programs that have a high concentration of that audience is very cool, and trying to find a balance there, but also like making sure that those viewers aren't like Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. because that's not great for us internally. But I don't know, like data's cool, like numbers and seeing, like it's real life, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're getting to that time, PG, where it's your favorite
Fun
segment.
SHU?
Yes, I think so. This is Paul's favorite segment. So.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. Who was your favorite professor here?
Oh, probably Thorne.
All right.
I think it kind of has to be Thorne because it was like he was in it at the time. It wasn't like he was a retired person in the profession. Like he was working, and it was kind of like you have that pressure to want to make sure that you're not like looking bad in front of someone who does this for a career.
For sure. We had him on here. It was a great time talking to him.
He also kind of scared me too. And
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I was just like, he's just kind of like, because he was good at what he did and he had the credentials to back it up. So you're like, oh, okay, I'm being taught by someone who knows their stuff. Like,
Yeah.
We've all had professors where we're like, oh my God, why are you still doing this? But him, I was like, no, he knows.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. What about, is there anything that you miss at Sacred Heart?
Oh, I think I just, like, that year of my life, I loved so much because it was like the people in our class were just like good, fun people.
Yes.
I can remember like being in the control room after class one night, and it was during March Madness, so we had all the games on the TV, and we're just like hanging around in that control room watching these games and reacting and cheering and then going out for drinks afterwards.
Yeah.
So it was just like a community that was really cool.
For sure. It's crazy to think
definitely.
like those days felt like, I don't know, it felt like in the moment that they would last forever, but then it felt like they would like,
So
looking back on
short.
it, came and blinked. Like, we blinked and it was over.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe I met this guy.
He's stuck with me now. So.
Best buds.
What about I guess, well, I don't know if you ate on campus, but did you ever eat on campus? Like, did you have like a favorite meal there or no?
No, because I was commuting
Oh, okay.
from like central Connecticut. So really, I just came down for classes. I kind of wish I spent more time on campus and really could have like taken advantage of more things.
Yeah, for sure. What about like, so what's your dream job?
Ooh, dream job. Something with an NFL team, preferably in a warmer climate. But just doing something with like strategic partnerships, sponsorship sales, like selling ideas, selling cool projects, but for sports.
All right, I like that.
Very
You
cool.
got anything
Speaking
else?
into existence.
Yes, manifesting.
There we are.
NFL.
Final question.
Any specific teams?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. She said warmer climate.
Warmer, yeah, I would anything below the New England line, preferably, but beggars can't be choosers.
He's a Dolphins fan, so if you end up there, you're gonna have to look out for him.
Yeah.
I'll hook you up.
Final question for you is, obviously looking back at day one of starting in this program, if you could look at yourself from that point and give yourself advice, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Just be a sponge and like learn as much as you can and just take advantage of every opportunity. Even if you don't think it's something that you want to fulfill in the future, just try it. Just give it a shot. You never know what you're going to like or not like. And I think just having exposure to those opportunities is just going to bring really cool experiences and a lot of knowledge. So just try it all.
Definitely. Love that. Great way to end. Thank you, Meredith. We appreciate your time. We got to have you back sometime. Don't be a stranger. This has been another episode of the What You Doing podcast. We will see you all next time.